Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. We are from Group 1. The names of Group Gita Ayu A.P, Mimbar Karunia Lestari, and Dwi Styaningsih. So today we would like to present you about research design, basic, interpretative, or descriptive qualitative. A. Definition of basic interpretative or descriptive qualitative. A basic interpretative and descriptive qualitative study exemplifies all the characteristics of qualitative research discussed above, that is, the researcher is interested in understanding how participants make meaning of a situation or phenomenon. This meaning is mediated through the researchers as instrument, the strategy is inductive, and the outcome is descriptive. In conducting a basic qualitative study, you seek to discover and understand phenomenon, a process, the perspective and worldviews of the people involved, or a combination of these. Data are collected through interviews, observation, or document analysis. Next, B. Characteristics of basic interpretative. A. Sampling technique. Sampling generally uses a purposive sampling technique with several derivations such as maximum variation sampling, which is believed to be more appropriate to reveal a lot of insight and broader information. B. Data collection. The data collection strategy for the key study was carried out by conducting interviews involving individuals and or groups guided by interview guidelines. Several studies reported that the data were obtained using the participant observation approach. C. Data analysis. The data analysis techniques used are content analysis and thematic analysis because they are considered the most appropriate for qualitative descriptive design. There are also studies that use constant comparison techniques and a combination of content analysis with constant comparability. Next, C. The aspect of basic interpretative. There are three distinct key aspects of descriptive or interpretative data collection: qualitative research worth of interpretative data collection. Qualitative research worth mentioning at this point. First, although data collection in qualitative research is generally not used pre-existing categories to sort data, always have focus. The focus is naturally driven by specific research question. Second, qualitative interviews are distinguished by the intentional giving of power to respondents, in the sense that they become research partners. The interviewer tries to empowering respondents to take the lead and pinpoint important traits of the phenomena they see. Last, the triangulation strategy is often used in this kind of research, with data were collected by various methods, e.g. observation and interviews. And then next, the data collection of basic interpretative. There are three: interviews, observation, and document analysis.
Okay, then next, analysis of thesis. Our group chose the title of thesis about students' problems in speaking English at Senior High School 6 Saralangun by Laras Aprilia MH. And then the first analysis is about background of study. Based on the background of the thesis, the researcher describes 4 language skills that really must be mastered by all students. There are listening, speaking, reading, and also writing. All these skills are inseparable from each other. Speaking is an important skill in learning English. In this background, they are already supporters of the theory of experts. And then the researcher found some fact in real life. It showed some phenomena talk especially in the area where the students were. After senior high school 6 Sarolangon went on a trip, the researcher found the due to manufacture. Most of them couldn't speak English well. The students were afraid to make mistakes when speaking in English. In fact, Senior High School 6 Sarolangon is one of the favorite schools in Batang Asi. Even though these are school favorites, they still have problems, especially when it comes to learning English. Taking into account the description of the researcher hopes to conduct a study called Students' Problems in Speaking English at Senior High School 6 Sarolangun. And then the next, it is about research question. Research questions are a specific question that the research seeks to answer. It is the essence of a semantic study and helps in determining a clear path for the research process. Based, based on the thesis in the research question, the researcher formulates the problem in the following question. What are the issues becoming the problem for students in speaking at Senior High School 6 Sarolangun? Okay, and then the next about research design. Based on the thesis that we analyzed, the researcher used a qualitative descriptive research design. The aim of the researcher is to use a qualitative descriptive design in the study to identify students' problems in speaking English in the 10th grade of Senior High School 6 Sarolangun based on evidence that supports the fact that there are certain variables or parts. Research design is also can be the plan, structure, and strategy and investigation concave so as to obtain answer to such question and control variance. And then the next about setting and research subject. First about research setting. In this thesis, the researcher took the setting of the research place at Senior High School 6 Sarolangun and then the located in Batang Asai. The research was conducted in this place because the student of class 10 Senior High School 6 Sarolangun. The researcher chose this school because the researcher knew well about the condition of this school and most of the students had speech problems. And then the next, research subject. In this thesis, the researcher chose the research subjects in class 10 or class A, Senior High School 6 Sarolangun. The researcher took 30 students who were interviewed by purposive sampling technique. Purposive sampling is about a sampling technique in which the research relies on its own judgment when selecting members of the population to participate in the study. This is to make time more effective when research.
Number 5. Sources and types of data. A. Primary data. Primary data or main data used in this study is to obtain information about the problems faced by class 10 students at the initiation of SMA Negeri Sarolangun. Data was collected by observation and direct interviews with the subject. B. Secondary data. Secondary data is also called supporting data in research. Secondary data in this study is school background, ability or condition of the English language of 10th graders, teacher and facilities in public high school. Number 6. Data collection and data instrument. To collect data that can identify students' problem in speaking English at the 10th grade of SMA and 6 Sarolangun, the researcher used two instruments, namely observation and interview. The first instrument is about observation. In this study, the researcher made observations by making field notes to analyze and draw conclusion in the research objective. Because in qualitative research, researcher is the main instrument in research. Instrument number 2 is interview. Interviews are activities carried out by researcher to explore further statements from respondent. In this study, researcher conducts interview with 30 participants for 15 until 30 minutes. Number 7 is data analysis. In this study, the researcher analyzed her research using a qualitative descriptive technique. Qualitative descriptive analysis gives predicates to researcher variables based on actual condition. First is data reduction. Data reduction is used by researcher in this study to determine the goals to be achieved while meeting the objective of qualitative research, namely finding. Number 2 is data display. Researcher display the data in this study to make data reduction and present research data in an organized manner and will assist researcher in determining research conclusions. Number 3 is conclusion. After the researcher collects, reduces, and analyzes the data, the researcher defines the result of the collected data more completely. In this study, the researcher concluded that after the data was analyzed based on certain occupant factor, students' problem were then combined into inhibiting factor. And this is conclusion for our presentation today. From the explanation of the material and analysis above, it can be concluded that descriptive qualitative data is collected in the form of word or pictures, not number. The data includes interview transcript, field notes, photos, video tape, personal document, memos, and other official record. In research pursuit, qualitative researchers do not reduce page after page of narrative and other data to numerical symbol. The qualitative research approach demands that the word be examined with the assumption that everything has the potential to be clues that might open up a more comprehensive understanding of what is being studied. This is our presentation from Group 1. Thank you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.